niching down is one of the best things you can do for your business. And Nathan Bell has done that. He is impacting a very important area and age group in our community. And if you want to hear more about how he's doing that to grow his business, you should listen to this conversation with Nathan Bell. We talk about not only difficult transactions, but a specific type of transaction and a specific type of buyer or seller. There's not a lot of people who even see the elder community as an opportunity. And when I say an opportunity to help add value, because they're going to be going through something that
change is inevitable.
It's inevitable. And it's a big deal, right? And especially for a family, not just the elder that's going into a home or downsizing, because it's one of those two things usually. You're not only having to deal with the emotion of that person and the ties they have to the property they're trying to sell, but also their family members and their feelings about how you're treating their loved one. And so I know you've gone through trainings for this, and you're I don't know if you want to qualify yourself as an expert, but you're more of an expert than I am. So let's talk about that process and how, firstly, from the emotional side of it, how do you have conversations around the process that you're going to put these people through whenever you're talking with somebody who's going through that?
Oof. So you probably have to lean on the family member that either came to a seminar or approached you about it and find out the whole situation. Sometimes it's better to go and physically go see what that property looks like if you're going to be listing it. Maybe shortly after you have that initial appointment with whomever needs that help, and really go put your eyes on it and just kind of get a whole grasp of what needs to happen to make that property marketable if it's not already. Sometimes, most of the time, I would say, properties are well taken care of. At least that seller would want it to be well taken care of. And in their mind, they've done a good job at that. Over time, over the years, things happen. Updates don't happen. Things fall into disrepair. So you just need to have a pocket full of, people that can do roofs, AC work, all the things, and just make sure that if something needs to happen, to be able to get that house to where not just a certain loan type can happen on that house, but FHA, VA, everything can happen on it, then that's kind of where you want to try and get that property to. If that's their goal as well, because they're probably going to need a lot of money to retire, and a lot of money is tied up into the equity of a home. If they've been paying on it for 30 years, they've got a lot of equity in that house. So our goal is to try and help get every ounce of that equity out to where they can use it to pay for whatever care they need between nursing homes or assisted living. Every once in a while, someone would want to stay in place and stay there, or maybe even with a family member. But a lot of times, it's going to require selling a house when it comes to those types of transactions.
Yeah, my wife's grandmother and grandfather are moving into assisted living facility in Thibodeau, and one of the things that I thought was great that they're doing is that they encourage them to move into the apartment or wherever they're staying and take their things out that they want to decorate and get comfortable, but don't try to take everything out, right? Once you get in settled, take the things you want, and then everything else you come back to, and then we can start checking off things that you want to give away to other people or you want to keep, and then the stuff that you aren't necessarily tied to anymore that we can then give away so that you can go and downsize effectively. But the pressure of leaving your house into your new home and not feeling like you have to take and pack everything up at one time. And so kind of giving a transition period to where, let's get set up, let's get settled, take all the things that we want to put in this new house for sure in there. Then we can take an inventory of things. Is that an effective way of thinking about that?
That's pretty effective. I've kind of been thinking about, and this is, just watching a couple of episodes of HGTV, our favorite, right? A while back they had episodes where they would redo a house and they'd send that family on a vacation. I've been thinking about, hey, what if we, had the family take that older person on a vacation, and all these things got handled at the house for the most part, like, some of the sensitive things that they may want to keep and everything, if that's somewhat already dealt with, and we're just moving things around to either storage or helping get some of that stuff sold and whatnot. What if that can happen to where they don't have to be there and make a decision on every single thing, and then they come back and, the house is on the market and they're transitioning to either move with family for a short time or to that assisted living facility. I think that'd be
I
a
think
better
we should
mindset.
offer that on every move.
Oh, yeah.
Like y'all
Ooh,
just go ahead
that'd
on
be good.
vacation, right? We got to make sure financing is right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just go on vacation. They'll be much happier than coming to the closing table after packing boxes.
But I also think that your mindset, and I can imagine that when somebody's going through that time period of their life, it's a long thought process and there's a lot of planning to know and have enough foresight to say, like, you have anything planned in the future, you're going to be out of the house for a couple of days because we have people, like you said, in our pocket that can help do these things for you. And it would be great if we can time it to where we're not having to walk around, tiptoe around you being here. You can go and enjoy yourself. And while y'all are gone, we'll organize things for you. I think it's a great move. But I think the key thing, right, if we're talking about the emotional side of it, is the empathy that you have to have the foresight to do and understand that you can't push somebody into this type of decision. You have to make sure that it can be their decision on their time at their speed. And so I think the empathy is important. So like let's talk about more of the practical side before we transition again, but who are some of the people that you have that you can bring in to help with that type of stuff? Because like you mentioned roofers and AC people, like how do you utilize those people and what are their mindset around these types of people going through this time period too?
Yeah, so a lot of them are compassionate because a lot of them are deputies actually that
nice.
I work with already. Some of them have pressure washing businesses. Some of them are in the roofing industry as well. So that's one big circle that I have a lot of other smaller circles within, which is great. They're always looking for some side income jobs between, not having to work details and whatnot. So they actually are out there trying to help the community out. Sometimes they'll do things for free. They'll definitely come take a look at things and be like, man, yeah, we can handle that. So that helps out a lot. That's a pretty good piece there. I think that was a missing piece of it. It kind of ties me to a lot of different things,
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this a minute ago, and having those types of relationships and understanding the value of them. Because, I mean, you stop working at the sheriff's office, you lose some of those relationships, right? And so understanding how they play a huge part in your life and your business and not running away from that as soon as you get a little busy in real estate, knowing that they're a big part of it. And, I mean, obviously, and you know how valuable it is to support the community you're in because you've been doing it for so long, that I think that having those relationships and keeping those relationships by being a part of that community longer than just dropping that as soon as you get the opportunity to run the real estate is important. Especially, I mean, it's kind of my new soapbox lately to talk to real estate agents about not giving up on your main job or your side hustle while you're in real estate as quickly as you can. Just keep it longer than you think because it is adding more value than you might
It's
foresee.
your lead generator.
Yeah, at the least, it's a lead generator.
It is your circle.
Yeah.
It is your circle and your lead generator. And honestly, a lot of people don't want to admit it, but they perform better when they have pressure.
Mm-hmm.
If you have somebody that's used to working 2 jobs and you put them in an environment where they think they have all day to get 3 tasks done because they're not yet busy, I mean, you get a little complacent and you get a little lazy, and we watch that ebb and flow happen. So
It's always impressive how much work you can get done whenever your back's against the wall when it comes to the time.
we don't know what that feels like. Do you know what that feels like?
Yeah, never.
I think you had a conversation, something about a foreclosure happening tomorrow earlier.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
there's
what was that 5 minutes ago? He said, we
yeah.
have to close this in 2 hours. So I'm going to need your answer in 5
Screenshotting
minutes.
text messages as we're having this conversation, telling people to get on it. But,
Multitasking, bro.
that's
it
right.
happens. It happens.